to pay a really serious price.
Obesity will crush the United States in oblivion.
Welcome to another hour of the Slim Body Laser Spa's Health and Wellness Show, with an emphasis, of course, on how today's FDA-cleared and approved technology is being used to help you to lose weight, to feel better, to look better. No pain, no downtime, no surgery, no dangerous injections, no more crazy diets. This laser technology is absolutely revolutionizing and changing the way that we look at weight. And we're unhappy with how we look, our shape. This laser is just rocket superstar. So, why do we need laser-assisted weight loss? I'm going to go over that today in depth. I'm also going to go over, for those of you who have foot problems, or you don't even know if you have any foot problems, I am going to go over in depth about your feet, about foot problems, and one of the roles that your feet play in your life. And as you get older, we seem to develop foot problems, and they're devastating. And I've learned some really great information that I want to share with my audience today about your feet. So please, I'm going to go over the first 10 minutes. In the last half hour, I'm going to jump right into the feet. And we're going to go over it hard today, just so you can understand more about your feet and their role they play in your life. And, my name is Dr. Tread Rissacker, and I am a licensed doctor of chiropractic, and I am the owner of the Slim Body Laser Spa, and I happen to be a client also. Just like the hair guy, the Bostix hair guy, he says, not only am I the owner, but I'm a client. You know?
That was a big ad back in the day.
Yeah, that's me. Not only am I the owner, but I'm a client. And with using my lipo laser and smart eating, smart nutrition, and being mindful of, my body, I was able to lose 12 inches around my waist, measured in totaling 3 measurements. So that would be 4 inches in girth in only 4 weeks. And that would be lying on my back, applying the lipo laser technology to my belly fat, and it shrunk and it reduced my gut from a 40 waist to a 36 waist in only 12 sessions. There was no pain, there was no downtime. I had more energy and more good feelings as I went through the process than I would have if I've ever tried to do it just eating less. Eating less and exercise are tough. And I know it would have taken 3 months minimum to 6 months to receive that kind of result that I got in 4 weeks using the lipo laser. But the lipo laser didn't solve all of my problems. It solved the outer layer of fat, the stuff that was hanging over, the stuff that, was very visible, the belly flab, the muffin top, the love handle, the male boobs, the moobs. It handles that really well. But if you need to lose weight, you got to eat less and exercise. That's just the way it goes. But when you do the lipo laser and you get these results so quickly, it motivates you to want to continue to eat better. I mean, I can't emphasize that enough. It's like getting an inoculation that charges you up for the next, 3 months to really do something to change your life, because the laser works so well. It works so quickly. And to me, that's just a gift. Right now in America, an estimated 45 to 80 million Americans will go on a diet every year. 95% of those who diet will fail to lose weight. Did you know that statistic there, Mike?
Yeah, it's an overwhelming majority.
80 million go on a diet and 95% fail to lose weight.
It's tough to
Even though they went on a diet?
Yeah.
Claimed to their friends? Went on Facebook, said they were going to do it? Instagram?
But there's so many...
Twitter, Chatter, what is it, Chatter, Twitter?
There's so many different challenges when you go through diet and exercise. Even if you have all of the information, it's hard enough to do a diet.
And here's another sobering statistical fact. Of the 5% who are successful at losing weight, 80% gain it back in 2 years or less.
Yeah.
How would you like to go in, drop $100,000 on your college education, and 90% plus never graduate, and the ones that do, within 2 years, they lose all their memory and they don't have any education after that?
Yeah, well,
I mean, that would be terrible.
hey, I'm part of the millennial generation. That's pretty much what we did.
Nah, you got a great career. See, it pushed you into doing something that you were really passionate about, talking.
Yeah, the thing I could barely do.
Mike has the gift to gab, as they say. Any radio personality has to have that gift. So, there's an old saying: if it were easy, then everybody would be doing it, right? If it were easy, even though everybody wants to do it and needs to do it and sees they need to do it, this is really, really a frustrating thing. And the TV programs, all of the daytime talk shows, these talking heads that you see on radio and TV, they're all, booming in business because of the failures of weight loss. They're all selling new products and new ideas and the latest book and the latest South Beach diet, the Mediterranean diets, the cabbage soup diet, the Atkins diet. There's just hundreds of them. And they're all disguised as low calorie, increased protein and a little exercise, but they just have their new slant to it. And what I think is the most important factor when it comes to losing weight, if you really make a commitment to do it and look at it, is that you get some help. You try to sign up with a group somewhere, whether it's a friend in your office, set up a team where everybody in the office decides to set goals and to help each other get through the process. They've proven that works.
Yeah.
When people do it together, maybe there's in your family, your husband, your wife, your sister, your kids. A lot of moms will do it with their daughters and get results.
In fact, the only time that I've had a diet and exercise that really produced major results was when I did it as a challenge with a friend of mine.
Right.
The two of us
love a challenge.
Yeah, the two of us made an agreement. We were competitive. We did the weigh-in at the beginning. We had a time limit of 2 months, and then we had the official weigh-in at the end. And I ended up just barely beating him out to win the challenge. But that was the only time I've ever been able to commit myself, and that was because I had the competitive juices flowing.
Right. So, this is a really great tip that I'm sharing with the audience today, and that is find somebody to go through this with. It doesn't cost anything to motivate, and you'll help. Maybe one of your friends has a worse health problem than you do, and you might be helping them greatly by just saying, hey, let's do this together. Let's set up a goal and see if any people we can attract through it. There's Facebook challenges, I know, but the Facebook challenges seem to be all tied to somebody's product or somebody's program or somebody's coaching thing, So beware of that. They all have costs involved, but one of the best ways of being successful, in my opinion, is doing it as a team or getting some help. And of course, if you can't find the person to do it, then get into an office or a professional program that actually has goal setting and has a doctor involved and can get through the all these different difficulties that come up as you start to lose weight and start to eat better. It's so easy to just throw in the towel because you don't see results. But if you have a program and it's supervised, then you're going to have a better chance of succeeding. And also be aware that most programs, unless they're associated with the hospital or associated with a medical clinic, do not have any medical doctors present there. There's no really healthcare physician, centered groups. They're more weight loss food sale centers, the Jenny Craig, the Nutrisystem, the Quick Weight Loss, the Physicians Weight Loss. Very few of those have any doctors involved with them. So they don't have to hold as high of a standard that a medical professional would have to hold and when it comes to making claims and advertising and what happens if you need a refund or you're unhappy with what happened. You really want to go to a reputable physician weight loss supervised where there's a doctor and there's a Department of Health and a board of medicine involved or a board of chiropractic or something that gives you an ability to complain and the doctor will hear that complaint. Of course, at the Slim Body Laser Spa, I am a doctor. I'm a licensed chiropractor and I supervise and manage all of the protocols. I see all my clients, patients face to face. And when I recommend my treatment plans, I recommend the laser, and I really do it out of what I think is the best option for you. And it comes through my medical knowledge and my training as a doctor for over 30 years. And if there's a problem that arises in the process, whether its results are not what you were hoping they are, or there was a problem with one of the staff, which is rare, I can get involved. And also I can refer for medical intervention. I can refer for MRIs, blood work. I can send you to endocrinologists if your problem is an endocrinology problem. It doesn't happen very often, but it's nice to know that you can get that if you have to. So that's just a little bit about myself. Now, one of the most powerful metaphors we have, I don't want to say metaphor, but examples to let you know that it's safe. And I think we're going on, 5 or 6 years now on the radio here, Mike, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, at least that amount.
We have at least, you've got 52 weeks in a year. We've got at least 100 to 150 people have called up and given their testimonials from our patient base, from our client base at the spa. These are not paid people, although we do give them a free visit for calling. Want to be very honest and upfront about that.
Yeah.
But that's not the same as paying somebody from California to come be an actor. This is not an actor. And without any further ado, is Linda there? Is this Linda?
Yes, it is.
Hey. Hi, Linda. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks to you.
And you're not a paid actor, are you?
No.
No. You're just a regular person here in Stuart, Florida, right?
Yes, I am.
I'm
a retiree.
I heard you're a superstar at the spa, though.
I hope so.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me a little bit about yourself and the areas that maybe you were hoping to change and things you might have tried and how you heard about the spa.
Oh, I've dieted over the years off and on, but the cellulite and the fat in the legs just is never going to go away until
that was your problem area?
That was my problem. It was like just the tops of my legs to my knees. And with the laser treatment, I've lost 1.5 inches in each leg, which is a lot.
In circumference, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. And I've been walking my fool head off. I walk 5 miles a day, and it hasn't made a difference until I started these treatments. And now they're looking nicer. I'm not embarrassed to wear shorts.
Ooh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. And for my age.
Can you share within 2 or 3 years how old you are?
Yeah, almost 67.
Nice. Yeah, you're just a kid. I'm 57. Yeah. I'm 10 years behind you.
Yeah, you'll catch up.
Yeah, and you'll be past that.
No, I'm staying here.
Oh, you're gonna. That's right. You could claim any age you want. Yeah,
okay.
That's fantastic, Linda. Legs can be problem areas for a lot of people, and they always think of their midsection because there's tummy tucks and there's surgeries and there's cool sculpting and all these procedures for the stomach, but there's very few for people's legs. And
right.
And you know what? My experience has been they get great results because they don't change based on how much you ate. Does that make sense?
Yes.
If you overate, your legs don't.
Walk.
Yeah, or how much you walk. The legs don't all of a sudden get big because you had a big dinner or something, or they're not bigger because you're bloated. They don't change. Yes. So they're pure layer of subcutaneous fat. And do you know why we have a little bit more of a layer on our legs?
No.
Evolutionary. It's because it keeps us warm. Your ancestors, before they had houses and stuff, used to have to kind of hunker down and bend at their knees and face the cold north wind, and it would blow on the side of their leg and on their shoulder. And that's why you have a little more of a fat accumulation there. And also, it's for extra calories when moms get pregnant, of course, and that's not an issue today, hopefully. But that's why we can get this buildup around our legs. And
well, thank you for the information.
Yeah, well, and it's not because of somebody's overeating, although it could be,
Yes.
So that's great. And how many? And you had how many sessions did it take?
About 9. 9
okay,
did
about
it.
9. Great.
Yes.
And so no pain.
No,
relaxing.
It's relaxing. Yes.
That's great.
Yes, it's very relaxing.
That's wonderful, Linda. All right, I'm sure that you would recommend it to other people as you're doing right now.
Oh, definitely.
That's great.
Definitely. I think it's a godsend.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
And I think it's a great investment. I mean, if it makes you happy, it's a great investment.
Yeah, and there's no chance of any injury or scarring, or as so many of the other, surgical
No.
procedures have so many can have so many bad effects. Not this
Right.
one. It's just one of the best
Right.
parts about it. All right,
Great.
Linda. I think that's
Thank you.
great. Thank you for your honest testimonial. I appreciate that.
All right. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
So many people carry their weight in so many different places. You've got, a lot of people that we speak to, and a lot of people in general, it's around their stomach. Some people we've talked about in the past carry it in kind of the upper arms, but this Linda, she happened to have it in her legs, and that's a big problem for a lot of people. It's subconscious, or it's a self-conscious thing, because like she said, she feels comfortable now going around wearing shorts.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's so important. Well, you know what it is? It's hard to change it. It's something that when you start exercising and doing it, you just can't. It's so hard to target that area. So if all you have is diet and exercise, and you're getting older, you really need help. And it used to, when you look at surgical procedures for changing somebody's thighs, the size of their legs, it is like brutal. I mean, I saw pictures of it. And they literally, they have to lay open the skin, and then they take that device which sucks the fat around it. And then what happens is they have to cut off the extra skin in big chunks, like almost like you'd be cleaning a fish's belly, And then they stitch that together and pull that tight, and that's what people used to do. That was the only thing you could do.
Wow.
Not anymore. Not with these low-level lasers that we use. And this is a low-level laser which, when applied to the person's legs, I should be clear about how this works, because everybody's wondering, is it some kind of big machine that stands over you and shoots you with a beam or something? Most people don't know what a laser does and how it works, but the laser energy is a very, very low-level energy, okay? So it's only about 100 milliwatts. And when it comes to watts, think of a 100-watt light bulb, how bright that is. And then the bulb that would go in your refrigerator is like 3 watts. The bulb that goes on and off, you wonder if it goes off when you close the door. Does it stay on, right? That's 3 watts.
Okay.
So 1 watt and then 1/10 of a watt is how powerful these lasers are. So that is a very, very low power. So when applied to the area that you want to reduce, it only penetrates about 1 inch to 1.5 inches through the front of the skin. And that's right where that fatty layer is located. And then what happens is, one diode emits a certain amount of light in a certain small area, about the size of 2 inches. But those diodes are located in something that we call a paddle. And the paddle is about the size of your cell phone. It looks like an LG 5. It's almost the same size as my cell phone.
And how many
And there's
diodes in a paddle?
There's 8 diodes in each paddle. So we have a machine with the 4 paddles times 8. So you've got the 24 diodes within those paddles. So that's enough to place right on the lower part of the belly, or on the sides, or around the legs. And then what happens is the laser is turned on for 10 minutes. So you put the 8 paddles, the 4 paddles, plus the other machine which can make the 8 paddles, and then you apply that for 10 minutes, and then you can move it again lower for 10 minutes, and then you can put it on the other leg, wrapping it all the way around, circumferentially around the upper part of the thigh, 10 minutes, move it down for another 10 minutes, and that's your treatment time. And that 30 minutes, sometimes 40, it depends on the size of the thigh, it releases 400 to 600 calories of free fatty acid. Now that's energy which was stored within those fat cells. It was not available before the laser. The laser simply opens up the fat cells, and the fluid, the fatty acid, is released into the tissue, into the interstitial space. And from there, it's got to be moved into the visceral system, which is where you eat and you digest your food, which is basically into your gut. The way that we move those calories after the laser is with whole body vibration. So 30 minutes on the laser around your legs. The acid is released. It's more liquid-like. It's slightly emulsified. And then you stand on a vibration plate for 10 minutes. And the vibration plate looks a little like a Segway when you stand on, and it moves slow and fast and lifts up and down the right leg and the left leg. So it's moving you, and it's what it's doing is it's stimulating circulation. It's flushing and creating a cleaning. It's cleaning out the interstitial space on the underneath your skin. So after 10 minutes of whole body vibration, your legs and the tissue starts to itch. You feel that warmth and you see the redness from it. That's the circulation. And what it's doing is it's pumping out and it's releasing those calories into your visceral system, which is where you burn your energy. If you haven't eaten for 2 hours before the procedure and then don't eat 2 hours after the procedure, you will efficiently burn those stored calories. That 400 to 600 calories is easy for the body to process that. And the next day, you repeat it. You do it again. You put the laser on the legs. It releases 400 to 600 calories. You go into whole body vibration. You don't eat 2 hours before, 2 hours after. You shake the fat into the system. You burn it as energy. Each time you do the treatment, you'll see a half inch to an eighth of an inch measurement change on each leg, which is quite substantial. After 9 sessions, 3 times a week for 3 weeks, a person can have like she said, a 1.5 inch circumferential reduction. That's narrowing girth. I've seen as many as 5 inches.
Sure.
On some people. We can take care of those haunches, those saddlebags they call that. You know what a saddlebag is?
No, what is it?
That's the horses, the saddlebag.
Oh, I know what a saddlebag is, but...
Right, well, it hangs down where your butt would sit.
Okay.
You sit on the horse, and the saddlebags are beneath that. So your saddlebags are that part of your leg in the back of your posterior, just under your buttock, which is becomes on some people, quite large. And voluminous was like, as we like to say with tact, quite voluminous. And of course as the fat gets in there, it starts to disrupt the surface of the skin. It makes it rough and callous and crepey looking, and you might call that cellulite. But as the laser is applied to that, it can also smooth that down and greatly improve it. It's hard to fix 100% those kinds of problems, and we don't ever promise that. Mm-hmm. But if you had a 30% improvement, 20%, 75% improvement, that's huge. It's huge. Because if you don't do anything, it's going to get worse.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't lose body parts. There's no bleeding. There's no anesthesia. There's no compressive garment bandages afterwards. You don't have to wait for surgery to heal. None of that. None of that. And that is what makes it so darn wonderful. So... if you're interested in a free consultation with me, it's 1-844-DR Slim Body, Dr. Slim Body, 1-844. You can go online, slimbodylaserspa.com, hit the contact page at the back. I have a new website, so please bear with me if we're searching for people's names. I'm a firm believer in doing things myself. And it's taken me a little while to get up to speed with all this new technology. But, of course, I do have a Facebook account, and we do have a Twitter account also. And we got a fantastic YouTube channel, and you can see over 30 testimonials from our own clients, and we're putting new ones on all the time. So there's no reason how you can't get in touch with me. You can also just get in your car and walk in and see us at the Slim Body Laser Spa. So we're going to take a break, and we'll be back. And when I come back, I'm going to go over this foot thing about your feet. So please come back, pay attention. This could save your life. Thank you.
Now back to Stuart Laser Talk here on WSTU 1450. And back to your host, Dr. Tread J. Rizacker.
Hey, we're back. Okay, Slim Body Laser Spa. If you'd like a free consultation, I am available. 1-844-Dr. Slim Body, DrSlimbody. You can go online, look me up, slimbodylaserspa.com, drtread.com. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, we're available. If there's a desire and a will, you can find us. I sure love to hear from you, see if we could help you out. All right. I decided that I really wanted to go over a little bit about our feet. You know, I am a doctor, I'm a chiropractor, I've been taking care of many, many people. And what happened to me was really, really shocking. It set me for a loop when I developed, you know, as any of my listeners know that have been listening to me, about 4 years ago, I was suffering with high blood sugar, the type 2 diabetes symptoms, with neuropathy and difficulty with, urinating and excessive urination and tired, having to eat to feel better. And I knew my blood sugar was elevated. And I chose to lose weight and exercise to lower the blood sugar, which is the cure for most of it. And I'd read some articles, some peer reference journals that stated that if you're overweight, which meant if you're fat, and you're newly diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, which is what most people deal with, this high A1C numbers, and you're 5 years or less, if you lose 10% of your body weight, you can have an 80% chance of reversing type 2 diabetes. And that sounded pretty darn good to me. I knew I was in trouble, so that's when I did the laser in 2012 at my office. I did the 9 sessions in 3 weeks. I dropped 10 inches. And then I did another 3 sessions the next week, and a total of 12 inches in 4 weeks on my lipo laser. I went from a 40 to a 36 waist, but my weight didn't drop as much as the inches I lost. You would think you go from a 40 to a 36 waist, which I hadn't been a 36 waist since I was like in college. So that was a big change for me. I only dropped like 6 pounds. And I'm thinking, I should be 40 pounds less, 30 pounds. I mean, I needed to lose 40 pounds.
Right.
So I hadn't reached my goal of 10% body fat reduction. At 265, 10% would have been about 25 pounds to 30 pounds I needed to lose. So I continued to eat less. I set up a diet that was low in refined carbohydrates, cut out the sugar, cut out the white flour products, the potatoes, the rice, the pasta, cut out the bread, and started to eating 50% protein, lean protein with fresh vegetables, and just stopped snacking, stopped eating crap that wasn't food. I, of course, cut out the sugar drinks. I don't drink alcohol, so that wasn't an issue for me. And I dropped 10 pounds a month for 3 months. At the end of that 4th month, I'd lost 38 pounds. My blood sugar improved fantastic. It was manageable. I was able to keep it at a lower level, just by eating better and exercising. But what happened was, and of course I shared this with the public about how much it changed my life. And over the next 2 years, remember it's 2012 this happened. Today's 2018. That's like 5 years ago. My blood sugar has started to elevate again.
Okay.
And it's very, very sensitive to food for me. I have to continue to eat food that's low in sugar, low in carbohydrates. I can't eat massive amounts at one time. I need to eat smaller amounts as I go through the day. Again, alcohol is not an issue for me. I don't drink alcohol, and I sure don't drink sodas. So as a result of that, I ended up running blood sugar that was over 200 pretty consistently, even with exercising and losing the weight. And I knew I had to I had to do something. And I made a commitment to myself and my wife and my family that if I couldn't lower that to where it needs to be, which is around 100, 110, that I would get medicine. I would go to the doctor. And I ended up going in November, and I was put on metformin
Okay.
and glipizide, which is glucotrol. And that has managed to manage my blood sugar. I run about 110 to 120, which is still, acceptable. But man, those drugs, they definitely give you side effects. So I'm really still kind of searching for a cure for that. And my option now is I'm going to get strong. I'm going to really join a trainer and start working on my muscle tone, because muscles burn sugar. Bottom line, your muscle is what keeps your sugar low. And if you have muscle tone and you're eating better, and you can't manage it, at least you're not going to have to take as much medicine. So let's get back to the feet. Now, your feet are very important to your life. It is your connection to the ground, to the earth, is your feet. Your balance, your ability to be to hold on, to be firm, to be able to avoid being pushed, whether it's physically or even spiritually or mentally pushed, has a lot to do with your connection to your feet. If you're not connected to your feet, your balance gets bad. You're easily moved and pushed around and pushed over, because you got to have good feet. Feet it's a connection. It's not just, losing your balance, but people that don't seem to have balance have a lot of other emotional problems. I see a direct relationship to it. It's funny when you see people walk, people that know where they're going and have a direct goal in mind typically walk with their feet pointed straight. And then you see the people walk like the duck, with the feet are pointed out. They're lost. My mom used to point that out to me. Keep your feet pointed to where you want to go, and you'll get there with more surety. So there's a lot about feet that people don't realize. When I had turned 45 and I was just coming back into practice here in South Florida, I had gotten pretty deconditioned physically from living in New York and not exercising as much. And the first thing I did was I joined a yoga class. And it was a yoga teacher. His name was Tony. And he was a fantastic one-on-one guru that I needed at that time. And I spent every single 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, from 7 to 8 a.m., we had a 1-hour yoga practice. And he pointed out the importance of my feet. I had no idea that my feet were so weak, and they were so deconditioned from wearing shoes for so long and never really strengthening my feet, that I couldn't prevent my ankle from turning. I would walk like I would sometimes fish off the seawalls, and I could turn my ankle in the snap of a finger by stepping in a little change in the turf. It was terrible. I was having ankle sprains, foot pain, my toes. It was just, and I didn't realize it till I took off my shoes and we started doing the yoga exercises and the strengthening. And a lot of, basic yoga, it has a lot to do with your feet.
Sure.
So he pointed out to me that your feet have the same amount of bones as your hand, and they're just as important as your hands. You wouldn't allow your hands to get deconditioned, right? You wouldn't allow them to get weak and unusable, yet we do it with our feet. So, he gave me some exercises and stretches, and every day I would have to roll a ball underneath the instep of my foot. I'd have to sit down and put my fingers between my toes and separate them so I could move my toes. I practiced picking up things with my toes, barefooted. And boy, things started to improve for me. And so, there's each bone, your feet contains 26 bones and 33 joints. Did you know that?
No.
26 bones in your feet and 33 joints. There's more than 120 muscles, ligaments, tendons, and nerves that are in your feet. They act as shock absorbers. They keep you balanced. They push you forward with each stride. On an average day, you take around 5,000 individual steps. Every day, 5,000 individual steps. Because feet are small compared to your whole body, it adds up to hundreds of tons of weight every single day being put on your feet. Now, everybody knows as you get older, your feet seem to get bigger. If you're older, you know what I'm talking about, right? I used to be a 10, now I'm an 11. And what happened to me with this blood sugar issue is, one of the symptoms of diabetes we know are foot ulcers, are pain in your feet. And that's because diabetes is a vascular problem. It affects the blood vessels. It isn't just high blood sugar, it's a vascular disease. So you're getting less blood circulation in your feet as a result of diabetes. Now, you might not have any symptoms. You might have neuropathy. You might have, a slow healing of cuts, hangnails. But one of the things that happens with diabetes and feet is you start to develop these calluses. These corns and calluses are caused by friction from poorly fitted shoes or socks or from toes rubbing up against each other. These calluses can develop on the sides of the foot and on your heel. Okay? Do you know who I'm talking to here? Anybody have calluses? You know what a callus is, Mike?
Oh, it's the hard skin.
The hard skin, right. Now, what's interesting is your body grows these thickened layers of skin to guard against repetitive pressure. And what can happen is you can damage the tissue underneath because of these calluses. Now, the callus is an area where there's no blood circulation. It really is pretty much skin that's accumulated and has become thick like a piece of leather. And then what can happen is by walking improperly because your feet aren't aligned correctly, which is why you should have inserts, and I'm going to tell you where to get them. But what happened to me was I got over this blood sugar. I'm on the metformin. My blood pressure has always been good, no high cholesterol, but my blood sugar was elevated for about 4 years as I was getting through this process to get the sugar down. So I developed neuropathy in my feet, and I still have it today. And when I walk on my left foot, I strike off my toe. It's called pronation in medical terms. And what it means is I'm walking on the inner part of my foot, on the side of my foot that's closest to my midsection. The outer layer, the outer foot would be supination, where you're walking on the outside of your feet. So every time I would strike and walk forward with my left foot, I would roll it off my big toe. Does that make sense?
Yep, I'm trying to demonstrate it right now with my feet.
And it causes something called a hard toe joint. That toe joint becomes less flexible. I forget the name. I think it's metatarsalgia. It doesn't matter here. Just know that I was walking on the side of my foot. Now, I knew this by looking at my shoes. My sandals, my crappy topsiders. I don't wear them anymore, buddy. Let me tell you. I learned a big lesson. I wear New Balance now. And they have foot inserts in them. And so what was happening was I'd always wear out that inner part of my shoe. And here's the truth, people. When you have normal circulation in your feet, it doesn't matter as much. But what happened is because I was having impaired circulation from the high blood sugar and that neuropathy, I developed a foot ulcer on my toe. Right under that stupid callus that was on my big toe on the side of it. No pain because of the neuropathy. You don't feel it. But my toe got red. It got itchy, it got kind of swollen a little bit. And I thought, well, maybe I strained it, sprained it, pulled it. I was out on the boat. I went to the Bahamas and I stood up for like 2 days going through the waves, and that's how I had developed that pressure on my toe. Now, I'm telling you about this because this is what happened to me, and to please be aware of this. It could happen to you too. And so when I got back, I knew that I had kind of strained my foot a little bit. It was painful, and my ankle was sore, but I didn't realize that I had damaged that skin. So what happens is you get a little spot underneath that callus, which becomes an infection, and basically the callus turns to a blister. So no hole, just a blister. And hey, we've all blistered calluses before. I have.
Yeah, this is all just from friction.
Just from standing on that with my foot pronated on the edge of my foot for so long. And so as a result of that callus coming off, I took care of it. I says, oh, it's a wound. I gotta clean it. I took really good care of it, and then it formed a little hole about the size of a pinhead, and it turned into the size of a toothpick. and then it turned into like half the size of a smaller than a pencil. And one day I was down there looking at it, and I'm thinking, this is really bizarre that I have this obviously it's exudate coming out, and it had a little bit of a funky smell to it, like something rotten. And everybody's laughing. I'm the doctor. And I am cleaning it and taking care of it and putting Neosporin on it and bathing it, but you can't treat it that way. It was an ulcer. I went into Dr. Shoppy at the podiatrist over there on East Ocean Boulevard, and I said, Doc, it's 2 months. It's happened 2 months ago, and I think I need help. It's not going away. And he looked at it, took an X-ray, and said I had a diabetic ulcer on that big toe.
On your foot.
On my toe.
Wow.
On my toe. And let me tell you, people, that was the first symptom I've ever had from diabetes. I'd always heard that you get these diabetic ulcers at the end of diabetes, like when they take your feet off, when you're in your 80s.
Yeah.
I was shocked. And it all began because of that foot pronation, because my foot wasn't balanced, level. Of course, the diabetes aggravated it, but it was because I was toeing off on that side of that foot. So he debrided it, which meant he cleaned it and he cut away the dead skin and put me on some antibiotics, which thank God he did, and it responded beautifully to the antibiotics and the wound care. So in order to get rid of it and heal it, I had to change the angle of my foot. Mm-hmm. So here's a great tip for you if you live in the area. You ever hear of Fleet Feet?
Yes.
And this is a free plug for them. I was told to go to Fleet Feet and have them see if they have some inserts for me. So I went in there after going to the podiatrist, and Fleet Feet is located in Stewart, and they are next to Michael's Arts and Crafts by Bed Bath & Beyond. Mm-hmm. And, those guys are knowledgeable. They're smart. They have a nice system in there. So what happened is I went in there and I told them what was going on. So they have this scan that you stand on. They give you, you stand on it with your bare feet. And then this little scanner goes around your foot and takes a picture of the angles of your foot. It measures your toe, your upper base, how wide it is. It's called your toe box. It measures your if your arch is fallen, and it also measures if your foot is pronated or supinated, which means if you're walking on the side of your foot or on the medial or lateral side of your foot. And on my left foot, where I developed that wound, I am pronating on that picture. You can see it. My foot is flat, and then the upper part of my Achilles tendon is twisted right there. And I was like, I looked at the guy and I said, I got to be honest with you. I'm a chiropractor. I deal with alignment my whole life. I've been to college. I had hundreds and thousands of people. I didn't know I had this. I said, I'm like a caveman. You're telling me something I didn't know anything about. And it ended up hurting my toe. Well, we looked at that. He made 2 recommendations, these New Balance shoes. Now that I mention this, go around and look at most of your friends that are over 50 and see how many New Balance shoes are out there. Okay?
So there's something specific about that brand. It's not
New Balance,
just...
yeah, they have fantastic support and arch support built in, and they have certain ones that are more firm for people with foot problems.
I just always thought that they were an affordable athletic shoe.
I did too.
That's exactly what I thought.
But now you're not. But it used to be where we used to wear these brown diabetic shoes with straps on them, and they weren't they didn't look very cool.
No.
But now these New Balance, and there's some other brands too. So anyway, he put me in a pair of New Balance tennis shoes, which I got right now. I'll show Mike. You can see them.
Nice little. They're very stylish,
I
athletic
look fit
looking.
like I'm running.
Yep.
And they put in a $40 insert, which tilted my foot back towards my pinky toe.
Now,
so it flattened it out.
So what I think is really cool about this is this wasn't you being told, go get inserts, you go to the store and just pick some off the shelf.
They measured me with that machine, and then they recommended it. And this guy knew exactly. I mean, I was in. What do I say? I got 2 pairs of shoes. I got 2 sets of inserts, and I bought 8 of their expensive socks. It cost me $450. Worth every dime.
Worth every dime?
Worth every dime. Yeah, this is something that if you don't handle this and you're starting to develop these calluses and you got high blood sugar, you're going to have an ulcer in your foot. This is how they happen. And I wish someone had told me this, a year ago. Right? So, and no one did tell me, and nobody took the time to explain it. And I knew that my foot was walking on the side for many, many years. But again, if you're not diabetic, if you don't have neuropathy, and then it's really not a big issue for you, other than the fact that you get these nasty calluses. But as you get older, it's more of an issue. So please, if you've got calluses, anything like that with your foot, go check it out. It's so important to do that. One of the main causes of foot problems is poor fitting shoes. 3 out of 4 people over age 65 have shoes that don't fit, shoes with slippery soles, or shoes that offer no protection or support. And these shoes can cause serious injury. Most foot problems can be treated effectively. A trained healthcare professional, Dr. Shoppy, John Shoppy over there on East Ocean, and also I see Dr. Parada, who's at the Treasure Coast Podiatric Center. He's a wound care specialist, and I felt it was more appropriate to have him help me with this toe. So I want this thing to go away. I am not going to lose any limbs here. I am not. I'm going to do whatever these guys tell me to do. I'll follow it to the T. So that's why I'm out here telling you about it. If you're home taking care of a wound on your foot, go to Dr. Parada, Treasure Coast Podiatric Center. Let him help you. So oftentimes a change in footwear can do the trick to help you with that problems. And it really comes because of decades of standing and changes in your feet. Much of the natural cushion of padding under your heel and under the ball of your foot, it becomes inflexible. And as your ankles and foot joints become stiffer, your whole foot gets wider and longer. So you cannot assume that your feet are the same size as they were when you were in your 30s and 40s. You've got to have them measured. And just putting your foot in that metal device which measures the width and the distance of your foot, it doesn't cut it anymore. That's like listening to an 8-track recording versus an MP3. These new scans that they have at Fleet Feet are so superior for getting the right size for you. So anyway, I think you understand the importance of that. So you're listening to the Slim Body Laser Spa. My name is Dr. Tred Rissacker, and I am definitely the Treasure Coast #1 laser body sculpting center. You can lose 3 to 9 inches of stubborn belly fat, 1 to 2 inches around your thighs. You can tighten your chin. You can get rid of back fat, reduce bra bulges, get rid of male boobs in 9 sessions in 3 weeks. There is no pain. There is no surgery. There is no dangerous injection and no crazy diets. Call today. Make an appointment. Free consultation. Free evaluation. No obligation. You will meet with me personally. The consultation takes about a half an hour. You watch a 6-minute DVD which explains the procedure. I come in, I ask if there's any questions about the DVD, and I explain a little bit about anatomy and the different areas that we store calories, and do a history on your health and your food habits and other procedures you might have had, health history, medical history. And then we examine that area with my staff to see if it's something that I really truly believe it can help you. I'll be very honest about whether I think it can, how long it will take. A lot of people have massive amounts, very voluminous areas, so they need more care than somebody who's a skinny mini, as we like to say in the business. But we're there to help you. I just want to be helpful. And I really mean that sincerely. If you'd like the consultation, it's 1-844-DR-SLIM-BODY, 1-844-DR-SLIM-BODY. You can go online, slimbodylaserspa.com, drtred.com, drtredslimbodylaser.com. We are completely approachable and findable. Just get in the car, come down to the Slim Body, ask to see the before and after book. Come read 300 of our testimonials on the walls. We have 320 signed 8x10 testimonials. And I'll tell you, if you come in and read at least 20 of them, I'll give you a discount because it means you're serious. Anyway, I want Max and Dixie to know I'm coming home to let you out. And thank you so much for listening. I appreciate all my loyal audience. I'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.